FoxDen Radio, the place where the Fox Finance community meets to chat, get updates from the team, conduct interviews, and answer questions. My name is Dave, also known as The Dude Abides in Canada.
Life goes on, man.
I'm the founder of the FoxDen and the host of FoxDen Radio. Join us as we grow this FoxDen Radio project, and you will gain the power to answer life's most mysterious question.
What does the fox say? The secret of the fox, ancient mystery, somewhere deep in the woods. I know you're hiding. What is your sound? Will we ever know? Will always be a mystery. What do you say?
Well, what does the FoxDen team have to say today? Lots of exciting things happening. I'm happy to be here to host you on today's show. We have some great things to discuss. We've got our FoxinAction campaign is wrapping up. We're going to announce the winners of that contest and the donations that we're making to protect endangered species. Also have an interview with Metaverse Mark, the latest team member to be helping us build the Fox Metaverse space. So I sat down with him in person. He's a friend of mine. We sat together in person and have been working on this together. Have an interview for you. And we'll also have some crypto industry news for you as well, along with the classic beats that your friend the dude loves to bring you every week. So let's start out with some news about FoxinAction and other team updates. So the FoxinAction has completed. Thank you for everyone who has participated. So we had a list of instructions and the way that people participated with voting on through Twitter, through their likes and retweets. That helped us to make the decisions about what kind of donations to make. We want to be responsive to the community, so we have decided to make donations based on the community's preferences. So the plan is to make a $1,000 worth of donation to the Nature Conservancy of Canada. And based on our results, $400 is going to go towards the Swift Fox, $300 to the Canada Lynx, and $300 for Spalding's Turtle. So 3 endangered species. It was actually pretty close, the voting. Thanks to everyone who participated in that. So happy to be making a donation to support one of the leading conservation organizations in Canada. It's been around for over 50 years. So we want to pick really legitimate mainstream charities for environmental donations, and looking forward to this and more to come, and giving our community an opportunity to shape the way that it happens. So for people who followed all of the instructions, make sure you follow all the instructions, folks. That means you needed to include a photo of yourself with a pet or with any animal holding up a piece of paper with the hashtag FoxFinance. So we had 5 people who completed all of the instructions correctly. So congratulations, you're going to win 0.1 BNB worth of Fox Finance. I will be forwarding your wallet information along to our finance guy, James McFadden, who will be sending you them next week. So our winners are, drumroll please, Isaac Larry Bryan, Christian Javier Montilla Bereza, Jorge Luis Pertorde Cabrera, Muhammad Sajad Islam, and Juan Mario Cardenas. So I hope you pronounced your names correctly there, folks. But we have 5 winners. Thanks to all of you for participating. And you're the ones who followed all of the steps to become a winner. So if you participated and you missed out, make sure next time you're really double checking, follow all the instructions correctly, all the steps for your chance to win Fox tokens by participating in FoxinAction. So those are the winners, and the charity donation, $1,000 worth to the Nature Conservancy of Canada to protect endangered species. That's the mandate and mission of Fox Finance. Happy to be caring about the charity work of the project. So, in order to help fund the charity missions of the project, we have business enterprises here at Fox Finance, and we're a multimedia blockchain society. So, we're going to talk about some of the latest things we're doing in terms of project development and news. So, happy to announce that the Fox Forum has been successfully migrated to the new database. We ran into some technical challenges with that. So now we are developing that, populating with content. It's going to be a place where our community can get together, communicate, play games. It'll be integrated with the metaverse space. It's going to be where our elections will happen. We're still planning on doing that, having 2 elected positions to the board of directors that will be paid positions for community members who will be working along with the team for a set amount of time. We're just still developing the infrastructure to do that, but that's part of our vision for the organization is to be providing community members with leadership opportunities, help to drive the future of Fox Finance. So the forum, so it's been kind of migrated over, and now Henry and I are working on building that up and cross-integrating some of our other products. So excited to get that milestone. The other one is the NFT marketplace. So that's just going through the final touches with the smart contract integration and looking forward to that coming up soon. Part of the thing is that it's taking slightly longer because Veora actually had a good forward vision when it came to our NFTs and the smart contract, because the NFTs that we make for them, like the smart contract will influence and restrict what we can and can't do with the NFTs in the future. So the way that Veora wanted it is so that the attributes of the NFTs will work not just on one game, but across like all of our games. Right? So that's giving it even more utility. It's one thing to have an NFT that gives you a bonus in one game. It's another to have one that gives you bonus across all of them. See? And that's what we want to do with our NFTs. We want to give them utility, whether they're giving you advantages in games or being working as keys that allow you to access metaverse spaces and content like that. So those are 2 of the kind of tech projects in development. Other things we can tell you about, we had some chart issues with CoinMarketCap, so we've been working about that on that. The tokenomics and market cap are currently not being tracked, but what we're doing is our team members, we're making accounts, and once we get to a certain level of verification, then we can self-report that information. So looking forward to upgrade that, and we have noticed that our CoinMarketCap listing has led to higher volume. So apologize for the confusion going on there. As you know, this kind of thing happens in crypto, but looking forward to getting that fixed and having more traction brought to Fox Finance through CMC. So that is pretty much it for the latest updates. I guess the other thing I will mention is that with Hotbit, we are still working with these guys. It took them 3 months to follow through with the migration. We've been communicating with them very steadily, but they're really slow response rate. So it's really inconvenient, and we apologize for people who haven't been able to migrate. Just remember, there's no time limit on migration. Even if people have been not paying attention to crypto for a few years, they could come back and still migrate. But realize that's inconvenient. So we are pushing and pushing, but they've had a lot of problems. And honestly, I've been discussing with the team whether or not what we want to do with Hotbit long term, because their service just hasn't been very great, and we're interested in maybe some other exchanges that could be similar. I'd like the idea of having an African exchange, because I'm really excited about the potential for social good of cryptocurrency in Africa, particularly. It's really progressive, some of the crypto credit union stuff that's happening there. So we'll see what's happening with Hotbit, but we're trying our best, folks. Sorry for the delays. Oh, and with Yummy, so now we've got that new staking pool there with Fox to Fox. So it's going great. It's got a high APR. We've got about 55 to 60 people participating. If you stake there, then you don't get the same rewards from transaction fees. But right now it's looking at a great rate. So if you're interested, go over to Yummy. That's where we also have the growth fund that is earning money for Fox through liquidity that is giving us a percentage of transaction fees. So that's one of the revenue streams we've developed that it's just based on transaction fees. It's not, trying to make money off people, other types of projects. So so good things happening with Yummy. So that's the team info for Fox Finance, the latest updates about what's going on. Let's take a break now. We're going to switch over to the music part of the show. So this week's show is going to be a tribute to a famous Canadian DJ called Deadmau5. Have you seen him? He's the DJ who wears the big hat with the mouse ears. So we're going to be playing a few of his tracks. So this first one is called I Remember, and it's a collaboration with Deadmau5 and Cascade. This is the radio edit here on FoxDen Radio.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to FoxDen Radio. For today's interview component of the show, I'm very lucky to have Metaverse Mark here with us. He's recently become part of the project, helping us work on the Fox Metaverse space.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for the nice intro there.
Yeah, great. Thanks again for coming. So, how did you hear about Fox Finance?
Well, I heard about Fox Finance through you, Dave, the last few years. I've heard you talking about this project that you've been involved with, and so that's how I basically heard about Fox Finance. And then when I started getting involved in wanting to do design for virtual reality, you suggested that I help come on board and help to create the space. So here I am.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have you here. Appreciate that. So, yeah, you mentioned about this virtual reality. Where did you learn about animation for virtual reality?
Well, I got interested in it just at the beginning of this year when I first got a VR headset, and decided it'd be a really good thing to learn how to work in there and try to make a living designing stuff for this new medium. And I took an online course offered through UBC here in British Columbia through UBC Extended Learning. Partnered with a company called Circuit Stream, and I took their program, and so that's my education.
Cool, yeah. So UBC is a bigger university here in Canada, so it's exciting that they're offering these kinds of programs because building the metaverse has got a lot of different components to it. What part of building the metaverse do you like doing the best?
I'm really interested in like virtual reality and creating the physical spaces that what we see inside the VR headset, creating the visual experience of being in a game or being in a room or a space. Sort of like the background more than the actual interactive experience, like the game, or that part. I enjoy setting the atmosphere, building the buildings and creating the rooms and doing the lighting and creating the mood.
Nice. It's like kind of like being like a carpenter or something for the metaverse. They actually like
An architect.
and the architect.
I like
Yeah.
to think of it being the architect or the set designer.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool, and I've had a chance to go through and see some of the foundations of the Fox Metaverse space, and it's really cool to have architect like Mark on board. So, what do you like best about virtual reality? What kind of experiences?
Going to virtual meeting spaces. I went to a couple of dance parties that were hosted in virtual reality. I went to film viewings that you got to interview the director live after the film, and I thought that was really neat. I do DJ myself, and so one of the reasons that I got interested in wanting to create a space was so I could create a space where I can have basically a virtual club where I can go and DJ. So that's how I got interested in learning how to create spaces and
Right.
all those other things. Yeah.
Cool. Didn't you say you got some virtual gear too, the DJ gear for the?
Well, yeah. So in the Oculus, there's a game. It's called TriXR, and it's basically a set of CDJs, and it is possible to integrate that into the experience in AltSpace and social interactions. I haven't learned how to do that yet, but yeah, so it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is cool, and I'm excited about the possibility of having parties in our Fox Metaverse space, and we get Mark to be DJing with some of his cool gear and do some FoxDen radio shows from there too. So you mentioned a bit about this alt space. Can you tell us more about this way that people will be able to access the Fox Metaverse space, at least the original version of it?
Sure. So AltSpace is a virtual meeting place, kind of like Second Life or one of those any of those other virtual. It's like a giant virtual sandbox game where there's, I don't know how many, I'm sure, and it's constantly growing. Like, creators create spaces, so the possibility is limitless, but there's everything goes on in there, from church services to exercise classes to dance parties to marketplaces. I am still learning, and so I know there's a lot of different virtual meeting places out there, different spaces that can host this, and I just stumbled across the alt space by chance, and it seems like a good one to me, so I recommend you check it out.
Cool, yeah, and one of the features of AltSpace that I really like is that you can access it through just a regular computer too. You don't have to
Yes.
have a headset, right? Because
Yeah.
we're thinking, okay, we're building this thing, and we're like, oh, okay, well, it costs, you need an expensive headset to participate. No, you'd be able to check it out from a web browser too, right?
Yeah, definitely, and have the same sort of not fully immersive experience, but all the same interactions.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting. And Mark and I have been talking a lot about different ideas, brainstorming it. We've got a really big vision for it. I know Veora is excited as well, and we're collaborating. And yeah, it still is early days, but just wanted to give you an introduction to Mark, and do you know a little bit about background about himself and what kind of things you can be looking forward to. So thanks for joining us today on FoxDen Radio, Mark.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. Hopefully we'll chat again soon.
All right, take it easy, dude.
Okay, up next, it's time for more Deadmau5, famous Canadian DJ. This track is called Escape. It's featuring Hala, and it's the John Summit remix here on FoxDen Radio.
My soul so in touch with yours tonight. Won't let my head take flight. We could leave this place, freedom ours to chase. What if I escape with you? What if I escape with you? What if I escape with you? What if I escape?
Welcome to the news section of FoxDen Radio. Today we have 3 articles. One is about the decentralized metaverse. The next is about the return of the bull markets and getting away from the end of the fear and greed index. And lastly, the SEC investigation of BNB token has been debunked. So let's hear a little bit more about these stories happening in our industry. This first article is from Cointelegraph.com, entitled Web3 Platforms Launch the Open Metaverse Alliance, written by David Atlee. OMA3 will focus on proposing standards and facilitating collaboration between various stakeholders of Web3 and other industries. Blockchain-based Metaverse and Web3 platforms have decided to form an Open Metaverse Alliance for Web3, OMA3, to overcome the interoperability challenges of the industry. 4 core principles of the alliance are said to be transparency, inclusiveness, decentralization, and democratization. The joint organization was established by Alien Worlds, Animoca Brands, Dapper Labs, Decentraland, Metaverse, Space, Superworld, The Sandboxed, Upland, Voxels, and Wivity. As the official announcement specifies, the means to overcome interoperability challenges would be focused on proposing standards and facilitating collaboration between various stakeholders of Web3 and other industries. OMA3 will be established as a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO, to ensure a governance system that is, quote, transparent and user-centric. It will focus its efforts on specific metaverse-related topics, such as standards for non-fungible tokens, NFTs, protocols, transferable identity, portals between virtual worlds, mapping, and indexing. The Alliance members intend to join the recently announced Metaverse Standards Forum, a constellation of Web3 companies coordinating requirements and support for existing standards and developing standards relevant to the metaverse. The Sandbox co-founder Sebastian Bourget made an example of a digital avatar to illustrate the issues that OMA3 is going to work on. Quote, we want your avatar to be more than just virtual representation. It also carries your reputation, as anyone can see on-chain which NFTs you hold, earned, created or bought, the full history of transactions, and as well, hopefully, the progression actions you have contributed throughout time. The announcement promises to reveal further details of the OMA3's outline during the Global NFT Summit in London on Friday. So it's just pretty cool news here as Fox is developing our metaverse space. We are a decentralized project. That's part of our ethics. The metaverse is this burgeoning cultural space, and we don't want it to just be a corporate drive-through. We want it to be a place where creativity and innovation and advocacy for social causes can happen, like we have here at Fox. So it's cool to see this kind of level of organizations happening in contrast to, say, like the Facebook metaverse. All right. Next article is about the top summer crypto hits. This is from analyticsinsight.net. After 17 weeks in the extreme fear end of the dial, the Fear and Greed Index has finally broken free of the extreme end of the spectrum, putting us in the range of fear. At this point, everyone's trying to preserve what capital they have left and not watch it wither away any more than it already has. But that's actually the wrong strategy. When you're dealing with exponential technologies, the math says that when the markets are at or near the bottom, the best strategy is not to slowly DCA back in, but to instead go all in on your high conviction plays to take advantage of exponential growth. Here are some cryptocurrencies that are showing high conviction as the crypto market finally breaks through resistance. Binance Coin, BNB. Binance Coin is the currency of the Binance Smart Chain and the Binance Exchange. It's used to pay for transaction fees as well as for staking for passive income. Binance is the world's largest centralized exchange, and it continues to expand into markets around the world at breakneck pace. Binance is and has been in the number 3 spot by market cap for some time now. It's going to be very hard to unseat this behemoth that offers faster transactions and lower fees than both Bitcoin and Ethereum networks, not to mention the vast network of developers and layer 2 applications. BNB has seen a price increase of just under 50% in the last 30 days. So good to see things shifting a little bit in the cryptocurrency industry. Here at Fox, we're looking at the long term, so we're just going to ride this out. And we are currently living on the Binance Smart Chain. So it's good to know that Binance, the third largest exchange in the world, is doing well, and certainly something that a reason I joined was because of the lower fees. Never forget my first experience with Ethereum fees, and yeah, Binance is a good place to learn about crypto for sure. All right, the next article is another one about the Binance Smart Chain. Kind of interesting. It's clarifying some false news that was put out earlier. The title is SEC Denies Investigating Binance Over BNB Token. And this is from the Crypto Times, published today, July 22nd. The SEC's response reveals there are no documents requiring Binance to submit reports to the regulator or its employees to appear for questioning. Apparently, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, hasn't investigated global cryptocurrency exchange Binance over the firm's origin and those of its BNB token. CoinDesk's Freedom of Information Act request to the SEC about a subpoena sent to Binance by the SEC in relation to investigation into the BNB token yielded no responsive documents. An SEC FOIA officer wrote in the Commission's response, "Based on the information you provided in your letter, we conducted a thorough search of the SEC's various systems of records, but did not locate or identify any information responsive to your request. This shows that there are no documents requiring the company to submit reports to the regulator or its employees to appear for questioning." According to one of the Freedom of Information Act exceptions, the SEC may not disclose data on ongoing investigations. However, the regulator usually uses the phrase, quote, "can neither confirm nor deny" in such cases. In June, reports came in saying the SEC was investigating Binance over its BNB token based of the initial coin offering if it amounted to the sale as of a security. If it was, then Binance should have registered it with the SEC. However, there has been no investigation about this, so it looks like that was false and that Binance is not being investigated by the SEC. So that's good news, considering, Fox is on the Binance Smart Chain, and I know there's been controversy around a lot of crypto, but I have seeing a real sincere attempt by Binance to follow the different regulations in different countries, and I think at the end of the day, it's just too much money, right? They're going to figure something out. They're not just going to allow it to collapse because of failure to do regulations. No, like the big ones, they're pushing, they're adapting, and we're still early times, right? Crypto market may be down right now, but long-term things are still looking good. So that's your news from FoxDen Radio. Thanks everybody for tuning in to another podcast from Fox Finance. I've been your host, Dave the Dude. We're going to finish up with one last Deadmau5 track. This one is called Ghosts and Stuff, featuring Rob Swire. Have a great summer, everybody. Or, if you're on the other side of the world, have a great winter. Take it easy, my dudes.